Okay, so this one's a little bit different. Just adjust the volume there. I want to talk about professionalism, in my opinion. I mean, this is very subjective, but I imagine some people will agree with me. Maybe others will think I'm reading too much into some of this, but it's just something I've observed and I think is worth a little bit of commentary. Um, By the way, in terms of professionalism here, I'm talking about uh, delivery of knowledge. I'm talking about particularly thinking of video as a medium and the camera as a medium. Not so much lectures because I don't have much to go on with that, but I've seen a lot of videos, particularly on YouTube and sometimes on television which let themselves down because the content is interesting enough, delivery just lacks professionalism. Now, before I get into that, I am well aware that my channel is nothing to shout about. So I don't want to come across as a sort of holier than thou um, type situation here. This channel, I lack any sort of high tech professional adjustments or anything like that. Um, However, I do try to have the tone of whichever subject I'm talking about. So if I'm talking about a terrorist attack or war or human rights issues, I try to deliver that with the seriousness that it warrants. Um, I've come across videos that are dealing with, for example, serial killers, and the content is interesting enough, but I am put off by the lack of professionalism from the presenter. For example, when someone is talking about, a particularly horrific crime and they've got a big smile on their face, it's just a bit weird to me. And sometimes this even gets into newsrooms. I've seen certain reporters, and I have to say there's a certain sensationalistic style with some American networks, Fox News, um, that just sort of takes away the seriousness of the issues at hand. Because I think, especially in the States, because networks are a business, there's so much on the aesthetic side of it. Um, and this might sound derogatory, but you sort of end up saying, dare I say it, like a Barbie and Ken type presentation. Um, I might get myself in hot water for saying that, but it's like the most important thing is to deliver the news in a professional way. Not it's not about your looks, it's not about your ego. And so often that seems to overshadow it. So there's a real sensationalism in journalism these days. But I've seen it on YouTube as well. It, I think it's a little bit disrespectful to maybe if they're talking about a crime case to the victims or to the relatives. Now, I know that the chances of them actually watching it are very, very, very slim. But the point here is I do see contrasts between people who deliver these things in a professional way, a serious way, which is what it warrants, versus a very flippant sort of way, which I think is just tactless. I mean, if you're talking about someone being raped and mutilated, don't have a big beaming smile across your face. The same applies to disasters. If you're talking about a deadly train crash or a plane crash or a terrorist attack, have some sense of what you're talking about. Have some decorum. Maybe that makes me sound old-fashioned, prudish, but it's my take on it. Personally, I try hard to get that right. Who knows? Maybe sometimes I fail, and if I do, then, by all means, my subscribers, please tell me, if you think my mannerisms or whatever are inappropriate. But I try to get that right. Um, but it's there's certain situations like there's this thing, the nervous laugh. So if someone is in a dangerous situation or they're scared or nervous, then sometimes a laugh can just be kind of to reassure themselves. And that I'm quite sympathetic to. I have a close friend who's a vulnerable adult, and he sometimes has that. But it's not because he is mean-spirited. He's a very nice person, very generous-minded, and very decent person. But I can sort of understand that. But I think some people just have a very, very dark, I don't know. Um, it's not even about humor, it's just about because sometimes they're not delivering it as dark comedy, they're delivering it as an educational video. And then if it, like, they're talking about serial killers and if a big smile across their face, it's a bit, to me, it's a bit weird. But maybe people would disagree. I'm going to round this up. I didn't want to make this a very long video, but let me know your thoughts. Does does mannerisms matter? Personally, I believe that they do. Um, I'm sympathetic to the nervous laugh, but I think when you're delivering something and you're doing that by choice and you're talking about a serious subject, I think you should treat the subject with enough respect to deliver it in the appropriate way. And in my opinion, if you're talking about some human tragedy or some terrible crime, which is the same thing, um, then don't have a big smile across your face. It's not funny. It's not something to. I mean, I probably should clarify here. I'm not saying that people should be shrouded in black and be miserable. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that to me, I cannot stay focused on the subject matter if the presenter is not being professional. And to me, laughing or smiling excessively in that sort of video is off-putting. I suppose, a little bit of breathing space, let's say. If the subject is very heavy, then a bit of breathing space, a slightly more light-hearted moment, for example, that's okay. But I see contrast because there's people who deliver this stuff, and they do it, in my opinion, in a very professional way. One example is I think her name's Caitlin Rose. She's a British YouTuber, and she delivers videos on real crime and they're very heavy subjects. She does it in a very professional way. I think she's very good at what she does because she delivers these things. She doesn't pretend to be an expert, but she delivers them in a very professional way. And I think that's the right way to do it. Frankly, a lot of news anchors could learn from her. And she's just a regular YouTuber. So, yeah, that's my opinion. Feel free to disagree. But serious subjects warrant a serious response, in my opinion. Let me know your thoughts.